Hi, I'm Nick Nuttall with We Don't Have Time.
Hi, I'm Mike Umiker from the Energy Efficiency Movement, and we are here to talk about the Energy Efficiency Action Track.
So, some of us were in London last week and we launched this conversation. And today in Montreal at the International Energy Agency's Energy Efficiency Conference in Canada, we're picking this right back up again. Same mission, new voices. Because here's where we left things. We don't have time to waste, but we do have the solution sitting on the shelves. So the question remains, how do we scale them up?
That's absolutely right, Nick. And it's really about the energy efficiency is the fastest, lowest hanging fruit to drive competitiveness, energy resilience, but also to enable the electrification that we have now as a new target and goal. So the challenge is really making it tangible and visible. And I'm really glad that We Don't Have Time has picked this topic and this challenge up as well.
So, Mike, why don't you remind us all, where are we at this moment in the energy efficiency landscape?
So we have just released recently a report where we have seen that 98% of the companies are either intending or already investing into energy efficiency. However, 43 still repeat and say cost is the biggest barrier. So the ambition is there, but we have an implementation gap.
So this gap between ambition and action is what we're going to talk about today. And we've got some great people to chat to about this from all kinds of different angles.
That's exactly right. And let's dive into it.
Let's do it. So, hello, everyone. Some wonderful guests here at the International Energy Agency. We've got Cecilia Agape, Head of Commercial Excellence at AFRAI. And we've got Joe Van Horen, who's Business Unit President at Alfa Laval. Welcome both. And we've also, of course, got Mike Umiker, of the Managing Director of the Energy Efficient Movement Association, and Mario Giordano, Global Head of Public and Government Affairs at Signify. Okay. And I'm going to go to you, Cecilia, first, because what is your company working on? I know you work across energy systems. You're advising clients who are trying to make this real. But from where you sit, what is the single biggest thing standing between a company's energy efficiency ambition and it actually happening?
I think one thing is actually how to do it. So they might have, an ambition, but it's hard to know exactly how to do it. And that is actually where we can help from our side, because we have a lot of experience from different industrial companies, energy companies, and so forth. So I think the how is quite hard.
Are you working mainly with the large corporations or with the SMEs?
Mainly with the large, but we also work with the smaller ones, but mainly with the large.
Okay. So even large companies, it's a real challenge, is it? It's a mindset. It's like a mindset. Breaking into a new universe. So I'm a bit worried what's on the other side.
Yeah, and I think it has to do a lot to also with, getting the business drivers of that company to really come together with energy efficiency. They might want to do it, but is it actually? Now I'm going to be a little bit harsh. What's most important to them right now? Can I give an example?
Yes,
is that okay?
Yeah.
So we had a really exciting project together with Fortum, the energy producer, and Microsoft, who made a data center outside of Helsinki. In that case, for the data center, it was really important to be fast. So as you know, a lot of data centers are popping up, and one of the most important things for them is to really be the first ones on place, to be fast. So in this case, Microsoft also wanted to be green. So that was really in our advantage. But the other thing was that Fortum was there and we had the district heating network. We had almost everything in place, which made it possible to be fast in putting the data center up, but also using the waste heat in the district heating system. So I think sort of the stars aligned here, which made it much, much easier because their business drivers and energy efficiency came together.
Good. So let's pause on that moment and stay with us. That's a good point. Joe, Alfa Laval's on the technology side of this. You're building equipment that delivers efficiency gains. What does it look like when a company gets this right? And what's different when they get it wrong?
I think the difference is enormous when they get it right or wrong. Indeed, we are more than 100 years working with energy efficiency across the industries, both industries, but also buildings. And basically, when you get it right, you can make an enormous savings on your bottom line and increase your bottom line, basically. Annually, we supply more than 50 gigawatt additional heat recovery in the market. So that is an enormous amount of savings. So a lot of customers get it right because they have understood what it can bring to them. And the example of Cecilia, for instance, for the data centers, that's also where our technology comes in to make this connection between the data center and the district heating network working. We have also those examples in Alfa Laval ourselves in our factories where we, for instance, install industrial heat pumps and where we recover the energy and actually don't need energy anymore to heat our factories and our buildings. So that's how you immediately can save on the energy bill and on the bottom line. When you get it wrong, obviously, is when you neglect this and you haven't seen this big opportunity. So in that sense, it is important that companies are aware of this saving opportunity, especially now that energy costs are definitely increasing. At more than 23% of a typical production cost is the energy. So energy is important and is costly.
And are there actually companies in, let's say, Europe that don't install energy efficiency? Or do you know what I'm saying? I mean, are there people that just then never think about it? Or is it that they once installed it, but they think it'll be like forever and they don't think about upgrading it? What's going on? I mean, there must be people, most companies must be aware of energy saving in some shape or form, yes?
Yeah.
Energy saving, light bulbs being one that's quite logical and intuitive and we know about. But there must be many that don't really exploit the full potential of what could be done, right?
Yeah. No, it is, of course. There is so many opportunities, and that's obvious that opportunities are endless. But it's not always people are aware where to find the energy savings, and that's also why it is important that actually the data are available and that you connect the equipment and understand what is driving your energy bill. And once you have understood what drives your energy bill, you have also a way to improve it.
Yeah. So it's not like the old days where you were like almost a wizard coming in trying to divine what was needed. No. Yeah. Now you've got the data, you've got the software.
The transparency.
And, yeah. Okay. Stay with us, Joe. So Mario, we often talk about the cost savings associated with energy efficiency, but there's a lot more benefits besides. We talked a little bit about that actually one-to-one, but let's just make that point again. What can you tell us about this less intuitive but equally important argument for energy efficiency? And it's very much in that IEA report that we discussed that was launched on the 26th of June about multiple benefits. Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree with what had been said by the IEA. There are multiple benefits in energy efficiency. Of course, the first benefit is the one which is more immediate, as you said, like changing a light bulb is something that we have done in our life, in our homes, in all the businesses. I would say is one of the first measures that we take, and then we immediately save energy, and we can use this energy, this electricity in this case, which can be free up and released for other uses. In this way, we can release a little bit the grid. We can reduce even the cost of the grid itself. But there are, on top of these other benefits that in the lighting industry we are used to call the beyond illumination. Those benefits are, for example, in road and street lighting, you might reduce the frequency of accidents. You can increase the safety, perceived and real safety on the streets. That's it's a real fact that you walk down the streets and there is more light, you feel more safe. Also, camera can work better, of course, because they can shape better, they can recognize better. And then there are others, like, for example, the productivity in industry, better quality, on the details in schools, in general, in the educational environment, you can read faster, you can reduce errors. Or in the retail, of course, you can increase also the productivity in the retail space. I mean, everywhere we have seen the energy efficiency and lighting as being properly designed, we have seen an increase of the productivity, an increase of the quality of the activity done in that environment.
Mike, you've also been close to the data on all this for some time. What's the one shift you'd most like to see in how companies approach energy efficiency based on what you've been hearing here and now?
So beside obviously the data point in terms of what I have mentioned already in one of the new courses, the 98%, where we see the shift and the willingness to either intend or invest into energy efficiency is clearly the system level approach. And I think that's really something that you can hear from a financial sector. So how can they easily unlock funding so that you not come up with an asset improvement project, but you really come at the system level. And then the second is what we also see from a data perspective, that 60% do more focusing on energy audits, but also in terms of digitalization. The trick here is now on how do you drive with these data also your cost down or your competitiveness or support the resilience, and the electrification transition is really that you do something out with the data. So it doesn't help if you just collect, but you have to act on the data. And I think this is really, really crucial what we see also moving forward.
Obviously, financing has been a big thing here, and I was quite struck last year in Belém at the UN Climate Conference, where we hosted actually the Commissioner Jurgensen, the Energy and Housing Commissioner, and also someone from the European Investment Bank, and Bertrand Piccard, the famous Swiss explorer, and the famous solar impulse plane that went around the world. I think he's going in a hydrogen plane soon, isn't he, around the world? And talking about energy efficiency as a service. Is that taking off? Are people starting to see that that's one way of getting energy efficiency into their businesses without the full risk of, in a sense, paying for it? Do you notice this in Alfa Laval, your Afrai, Mike, and obviously Mario? I know you know about it because you're doing some of it. But for you, people who'd like to pick this up?
Yeah, I can. We definitely start to see it. Energy efficiency as a service is of course an interesting concept. It allows companies not to make the upfront capex, which often is the bottleneck.
Their costs,
the cost, but at the same time, of course, it makes the business case like a no-brainer if we can unlock the financial capabilities through an energy efficiency as a service. What we do see, though, is that sometimes it's still complex but who owns those savings, and how much of those savings do I get? And many of the discussions goes then more in those directions. So it's finding a win-win situation often in order to get it going.
It's a door that's kind of opening, yes?
It's
and
a door
some
which is
people are
opening.
walking through and seeing the benefits,
Absolutely.
Cecilia?
Yeah, we see the same, but I think in our case, we're on the early stages, to be honest. We work quite a lot with energy audits as well, and we have the possibility to do it as a service, but so far, actually, the clients have not jumped on the train so much. But I was really happy to hear the discussions about this today, because I think it is a win-win if you do it right. But I think there needs to be a lot of trust.
Yeah,
here
I think with the European Investment Bank and this the Solar Impulse Foundation and what they're doing, that the financial services supporting this, I think they've only just really come together. Is that correct, Mario?
I think it's exactly what they're doing, and I'll say from my perspective, I see this happening in Europe, but also in other regions, definitely. So the Commission is working on that. Bertrand, of course, has been the initiator together with the European Investment Bank. And we see that one very specifically for SMEs, because in some cases you need to de-risk a little bit. So I think that the contribution of the public funding or the European Investment Bank in this case is to support the de-risking mechanism.
Yeah.
While in other cases, we have experience on direct engagement with customer and what we call the light as a service, which is the energy as a service applied to the lighting. This is a way also to provide a wide range of services, which comes from as Cecilia was saying, from the early stage, so design, building a bit of trust through the design phase, and then install the products. Then you still own the products, of course, and opens the door also to another concept of circularity, because of course you can take it back or you can upgrade with another product or with more technologies as soon as they are more affordable or more in line with the needs of the customer. So I think that the energy as a service, the light as a service, in our case, also is a way to look into the circularity opportunity.
Mike?
I would actually like to bring in a bit a different angle as well. So quite often data is one of the critical assets. And I think nowadays also with having AI and so on, and you are able to measure the impact as well. I have big hopes that this also will make it a bit easier, because the model is a bit kind of to be good to be true. But still we are not really taking off. And what we see on one hand, large corporates, so they have on one hand, usually they are cash healthy. So for them, it's not so relevant and important. But what we see as well at the same time, that the large corporates start to look into as well, how can they help their clients through different models. I mean, we had Siemens today also on a panel hearing about their financial services, either being it on their own projects that they fund, but also obviously then indirectly on the customer side, or others as well, where they really search for partners and collaborations. How can they help to unlock the fund? And I think these hybrid models will help, hopefully, to really get easier access and obviously scale energy efficiency implementation.
And could it be that in some well-developed economies, you've got a lot of a quite mature banking sector that they can maybe do the job, but in some more developing countries, they might need a trusted financial partner that could be somebody like Siemens Finance.
Yes. So what we have been talking yesterday during the CEO roundtable is the which will be then the outcome is the Montreal Collaboration Framework. This is really where we brought up financing institutions at the same level, obviously, as we have the companies and also the policy side. So I think it's really important. But on the other hand, the struggle is a bit what we see is that you have to bring it again at the system level. So it must be interesting as well for companies to do then these investments. And it's not just at the little small asset level. And I think we are getting there. And obviously maybe regulations could help as well. So that there are like qualifications for different ESCO companies, models and types. And I think this will help as well to drive the acceleration.
Let's pivot then towards, we're getting towards the end of the show a little bit here, but now we're looking at this 35 by 35 target of the next UN Climate Conference presidency, which is Turkey, working with Australia. And this is, to see basically a 35% electrification worldwide by 2035. What's your take on this? I mean, has within it an initiative to cut energy intensity in the building sector by 25%. I have no idea what energy intensity in the building sector is right now. But anyway, what's your view on this? Anybody want to start first? Is it a good move? Do we welcome it?
Let me break the ice. I think it's definitely yes, because it's buildings are everywhere in the world. There is a huge potential. I would say from the lighting perspective, definitely we have assessed this. Lighting represents globally approximately 9% of the electricity consumption. So let's imagine that for a second that we can upgrade all these light points in the buildings all around the world through audits, through energy as a service, through installers. I mean, in different way, we can immediately release electricity, which can be used for the electrification of this. Because of course, in order to electrify, you need also to reduce a bit the demand from other appliances. And so we really welcome this, and we think that buildings are really at the heart of the electrification, because they can be more flexible and be included into the grid ecosystem, and maybe tomorrow become a bit of a battery, or become give a bit of flexibility to the system itself. So the lighting will work, connecting also lighting with the building management system. You can also make sure that the buildings is more flexible and more connected to the entire grid.
Joe?
Yeah, I fully agree. I think we very much welcome such targets, because electricity targets, electrification targets, and energy efficiency really goes hand in hand. We really need to save all the energy which we can before we electrify. Also in the industries, there is so much to do. This is really the way to lower the electricity demand, to make it affordable. And also at the same time, when we electrify, we make the energy available, we make it secure, and we also can make it clean. So it really goes all hand in hand, very much. So it's not electrification or energy efficiency. It is really electrification and energy efficiency goes together.
Cecilia?
Yeah, I very much agree with what you said. And I also think we should think of where to use our electric sources. So some like the industry might need electricity. When it comes to housing, you might, as I said before, you might use heat instead, so that you use the electricity where it's needed, and make sure that you have smart ways for peak shaving as well. It could be heat pumps and batteries. It could be a lot of different things to make this affordable. And as you said, it's not. You need both. You need to think of where to use your energy, do it efficiently, and so forth. So lots of things, and also when you build and rebuild, to of course the lights are very important, but it's also other things. It's like the materials you use, insulation. There's a lot of things to make buildings more energy efficient.
Absolutely. Mike?
So important is also to remember the short history. So it's double down, triple up, and electrify now. So it's really energy efficiency is the enabling factor, and therefore it's really important. We as the energy efficiency movement are also a supporter to the Electrify Now campaign, so which supports the 35 by 2035. And with this, I think the colleagues have mentioned everything, but it is the enabler to ensure we are reaching the double down and triple up as well.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you very much for being with us. We have learned a lot. And if you want to know a little bit more about energy efficiency as a viewer, you could also start by going to wedon'thavetime.org. And we have our energy efficiency action website with some of the companies mentioned here during the last 2 days have been on our shows. And maybe you might discover that you find a passion for energy savings as you're going forward. There are already 12 proven solutions on the platform, but we'd like to see some more as well. So if there are some companies out there that want to showcase what they're doing on the We Don't Have Time energy efficiency action site, we'd love to hear from you. So that's it. Time to move on. Time to say au revoir from Montreal here in wonderful Quebec in Canada. And best of luck with your work and all the things you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.